Hi, everyone. Did you guys hear about Gavin Newsom approving to pay out of the budget for reparations $12 million to Black California descendants of slaves? Did you guys hear about that? What they're doing is they're trying to take money away from the budget and use it to start some type of reparations program. But they're still not talking about paying anything tangible as far as cash payments. They just want to provide programs so they can monitor and tell us what to do and all that. That's not going to work, okay? Because that's not even reparations. I don't understand what they think they're doing with that, first of all. And not only that, if you have a budget of $298 billion for reparations, why won't you just use that and pay that to the descendants of slaves, as a down payment, because you owe trillions of dollars? I don't understand why they're just trying to dance around that. And I really don't like these reparations task forces and, what they're not good for anything. Now, they've been having these task forces for years, and this is all they could come up with is 12 million for a program for reparations. And they're still trying to determine how they're going to go about administering the programs and what type of programs we should be offered instead of cash payments, which makes no sense to me, because they're not doing that to any other groups. I mean, if you're going to give us programs, just make that in addition to the cash payments, if that's what you want to do, because you do owe us trillions of dollars. And another thing I don't like about these task forces is they have people on task forces who are not Black American descendants of slaves. They got all these other groups of people. And the two groups who should never be on any task force pertaining to Black Americans is Anglo-Saxon white people and Africans from the continent. They should never be on any task force pertaining to us because there's a tendency to have a little bias and somewhat jealousy. They don't want us to have that money because both of them, they have, ancestry that were involved in the slave trade, that own slaves. So why would you be on any task force pertaining to Black people? That'll be like an attorney deciding a jury for their client and choosing a juror that they know is going to be biased towards their client and still choosing them anyway as a juror. Now, how dumb is that? Who would want that? And then you got all these other groups who undermine Black people anyway because they come over here from foreign countries and they don't want to see Black people with anything. They'd rather step on us so they can be closer to whiteness and get tangibles at the same time. So they don't want to see us with anything. But you got all these people sitting on these task forces to speak about what we should get for the horrors of slavery and what our ancestors went through, the torture they went through. I mean, it's just unbelievable. They really just don't have any type of respect from what our ancestors went through and what we're going through today from the residue of slavery. We are still suffering today from these things. And I just don't understand why they're just pulling this stuff further and further and further along. They need to pay us our reparations in the form of cash payments. And I hear people saying that they said they were going to pay $12 million to 2.8 million Californians. That's only like $4 and what? 28 cents or something like that around it. $4.30 or something around there. And I would burn a check. If they send me a check for that amount, I would literally burn it. Because that's what it'd be good for. It wouldn't be good for anything else but to start a fire. That is ridiculous. There is no way they're talking about paying out $12 million. It would cost more for them to disperse that money than to even just hold on to it and decide on what they're going to do. It's just all these different, derailments to keep from doing what they know they need to do. And that's just to pay us our money. Pay us in the form of cash payments. And that's all they need to do. Now they're talking about taking bits and pieces from the budget to pay to Californians. And then another thing I don't like about what California is saying is I don't like how the language is in that. They're basically saying African Americans and descendants, and particularly descendants of slaves. What does that mean? Africans shouldn't get anything. If your lineage is from the continent of Africa and you just pretty much got here and you don't even have a birth certificate in this country, and like I said, and it's not even that, your lineage is not from here. It's lineage based. It has nothing to do with your race or, national origin. It's where well, kind of, but not. You're not eligible for reparations. I don't know why they're adding African American to that. And that's very bizarre. But that is why we do need to change our name. We're not African American. It's hard for me to even say that I'm African American because I'm not. When I say it, it doesn't internally make me feel connected to it. I say I'm black because that's the only thing I can feel really connected to. I mean, I know it's a color. They say it's a color, but that's the only thing that I know that I'm connected to. I'm not connected to African. I'm not. I know that I may have some bloodline, but I'm not culturally, spiritually, I'm not connected to Africa. I just, I'm more connected to what my ancestors went through in this country, here, in this country. And Africans they're the ones who sold our people. Some of them were here, but some of them were sold. And I mean, it's just a lot that's going, with this and how I feel about it. And I just don't feel like these other groups should even be inserted in the conversation. And I'm not sure why all these other groups, they are making $1 zillion talking about black issues and they're not black themselves. I mean, it's just ridiculous. But California should be ashamed of themselves. But again, look who's doing it. The Democrats. It's under the Democratic governor, Gavin Newsom. And go figure. Look at how he's just stringing us along. When he knows he just needs to pay. He's paying for all these illegals. He's paying over $598 billion to give these illegal immigrants medical. That's what he's paying. Plus, this was reported as of 2022 that he was paying $598 billion for their medical. So can you imagine what he's paying now? And he can't pay $298 billion for reparations to Black American descendants of slaves, to Californians that live here. I don't understand that. That's very bizarre, but really not, because it just goes along like what I'm saying. That's the reason why we need reparations now, because look at what we're going through with just even trying to get reparations. But can you guys tell me what you think about the reparations in California? And do you think they're just basically trying to drag their feet until the conversation goes away all along? Or do you think they're actually going to spend the $12 million and put it under some type of program that it's not going to help Black people move a needle? It's not going to help us progress in life or do anything, open businesses or anything. Like I said, that's only $4.30. What is that? He can say that and wipe with that. But anyway, can you guys please share this video, like this video, comment, please let me know how you think about this situation, and I will speak to you again. Thank you very much and have a nice day.